The long table sat 12. He reached the stairs and put his hand on the oak newel and took one step after another. Family photographs made the ascent with him. The sound of the grandfather clock ticking away in the living room gave way to the television laughter issuing softly from the bedroom down the hall. Jane was still beautiful. She was wearing a pair of reading glasses that had a pop art zaniness of character, teardrop frames polka-dotted with drops of primary color. Spaghetti straps revealed her slender arms, and the nightgown held her firm breasts in place, just below a freckled slate and an articulated clavicle. She was doing the crossword. Whenever she got stuck, she glanced up at the late show on the flat screen mounted to the wall and drummed the pin between upper and lower teeth, as if to waken her brain. She looked at him as he entered, surprised to see him home so early. "Hello, Banana," she said. He took off his suit coat as if it were a t-shirt, thrusting the back over his head and turning his sleeves inside out. Then he found himself grabbing the hem, a hand on each half of the parted tail, and ripping the thing in two. Hard to break the seam at first, but once the first thread snapped, it went. Jane opened her mouth, but nothing came out. He dropped the tattered coat and climbed onto the bed and hunkered down on his hands and knees like a man waiting for an explosion. "What is it?" she said. "Tim, what is it?" His head was lost inside his sheltering arms. "Tim?" She moved over to him and put her arms around him, hugging him from above as if they were about to engage in a wrestling match. "Tim." He told her that he had been forced out of the building and into the street. At 43rd and Broadway, he hailed a cab, which he hoped would take him back to the office. After getting the cab to pull over, he reached out and opened the back door. But then he walked on. The driver, a Sikh in a pink turban, honked the horn, staring at him through the rearview mirror. Why would someone hail a cab and open the door only to keep walking? Near Union Square, he had tried to call an ambulance, a recourse they had envisioned during his last recurrence. He was on the line with a dispatcher trying to explain the situation when he slipped on a patch of ice coming off the curb and lost his grip. "My phone!" he cried out as he regained his balance. "Somebody, my phone!" He walked on with a tweaked back. "Please get my phone!" His BlackBerry had landed in the middle of the street where it lay defenseless against oncoming cars. He kept moving forward. He told her of all the city's scaffolding he walked under, the manic traffic he managed to avoid, the parade of oblivious people he passed. He told her that he turned tired in the old way by the time he reached a bench somewhere near the East River, where his body gave out. How he had crumpled up his suit coat for a pillow and taken off his tie, sweating despite the cold. How he woke up in horror an hour later. "It's back," he said. 2. First thing, she had to dress him. She knew he didn't want to dress. He wanted to shower, crawl into bed, fall asleep. Whatever action preserved the routine. Brush his teeth, reach for the light. He was still on top of the bed, frozen in the soldier's huddled field position, his rear up and his arms encircling his head as if to shield it from flying shrapnel. His hair, he still had a full head of dark hair, one of his most distinguished features. He was a handsome, healthy man, ridiculously horse-healthy, and aging with the grace of a matinee idol, was disheveled. "Tim," she said, looking over his arm into his one visible and glazed-over eye, "you have to get dressed." He didn't move. She got off the bed, walked into the bathroom, and threw a black waffle-weave robe over her silk nightgown. She was startled by the complacency of the lotions, soaps, creams, and deodorants arrayed on their bathroom sink, suddenly insulted by the rosy promises of common beauty products. She took an inventory in her head of all the things she needed and began collecting them from the places in the house where they could be found. His base layer of thermal long underwear and form-fitting insulator pants from the dresser, a sweatshirt and fleece from the walk-in, his heavy down coat, his hat, gloves, and scarf. She placed his ski mask in one of the coat pockets, along with several disposable heat packs she hoped hadn't reached some unmarked expiration date. She reminded herself to buy more. She almost broke into tears by the washer-dryer. She brought up the GPS and the Alpine pack from the basement.